everyone, today we're going to make bracelets. So the first thing you need is some chain. It's got quite large links. You need the larger links because then you can attach things to it. I've got other chain here, like necklaces from Claire's. Those links are just so tiny, they're only good for fragile, delicate things. So if you are buying chain, make sure you buy something that's got quite a big space in the middle. I know it doesn't look very feminine right now, but with the added beads it will look great. So I used to measure it against myself. My wrists are quite small, so I used to make it quite loose so it would be one size fits all. If you don't want to measure on your wrist and you're giving it as a gift, a good average is about 21 centimeters. And then you're going to add a little clasp to the end, and then that'll make it almost 22. Okay, so when you're opening these, you go north to south. Don't open east to west because you'll change the shape of the loop, and then it won't join again properly. And then always check these, make sure they work, the clasps. I'm going to put the clasp on now while this is open. And again, we're going to close north to south, and you close it until sometimes it will click. If it doesn't click, just make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to move it across to there. So there we've got our chain, and it is 21.5. So with the dangly thing on the end, we will get it to 22, which is a good size. So on a small wrist, you're going to close it, a bit hard to do it on my own wrist. On a small wrist, you're going to close it there and have a dangly bit. I hope you can see that. And on a larger wrist, you would just close it further down. And then if you know the person's wrist is very big and it's a gift, just ask them to measure it or measure it yourself. You don't want to give a gift that doesn't fit. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is, normally what I would do is I would put this over here, and I would actually count how many little loops there are. So how many loops have we got today? So I've got a pen, it'll be easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so we've got 37 loops on there. I've got 3 little charms. The heaviest charm I will put in the middle, even though when you look at it, it doesn't look maybe like you think, oh, we should do it like that. But if you put the heaviest charm in the middle, then it hangs right. Okay, so we had 37, and now let me write that down. So we had 37. We're going to leave the first 2. That makes 35. We're going to leave 2 at the end. Makes 33. We got 3 charms equals 30 beads. So we need 30 beady things to add. So we can start doing that now. Let's see, I've got quite a few pairs of pliers here. So what I like to do, if I don't have, I've got quite a nice selection of beads here. If I don't have a nice selection of beads, I would actually count them out. I'm just going to get my round nose pliers. Hold on a second. Okay, so now I've got the round nose pliers. Mine are a bit rusty. You can see they haven't been used for a while. So what I did here, let me just do this one and then I'll explain what I did because I forgot to show you how I cut it. So I use these pliers with the cutter. Actually, that one is the only one that doesn't have a cutter. Those 2 have a cutter, and that's a round nose. So these ones are good for opening and closing, and you use 2 of those because they've got a flat side. The round ones are good for making that little loop, which you'll use to attach your bead. So I think I'm going to do a few of these yellow ones. Oh, now, see that hole is a bit too big. So I won't use that bead for now. Let's just see. Maybe it's the, I think it's actually this head pin. There we go. That one fits nicely. Okay, so I usually use my finger there as a guide. Obviously don't cut your finger. Push that the pliers right up to the edge of your finger. The blade isn't on the edge, so you're not going to cut your finger, but obviously try not to cut your finger. So I'm using that as a little guide. I'm cutting mine, wrong pliers. I'm cutting mine downwards so it falls into there, it doesn't shoot across the room. Now using my finger at the back there, I'm holding that eye pin up to the top. You grab the end and I twist it backwards. And I'm doing it and it's not really showing you. Okay, I need to actually make that a bit longer, so let's try again. So you're going to put the head pin into the bead, make sure it sticks and it's not falling out. Cut the edge off. So that amount that I'm cutting there is about 1 centimeter. So you can find your own way to do 1 centimeter. This is the way I do it. So let's see if I can find a head pin that won't go through the hole. Yep, that's good. And another one. So we're going to do like a 1 centimeter gap. And you're going to turn this backwards and around. And there we go. So I've got some yellows, so that looks good. Let's put some other colours in now. I'm just straightening this because some of them are a bit bent. Quite like this orangey colour. I'm just going to measure and see how many I need before I start. So the hole's a bit big on that one. Let's do this one. So now I'm just counting. So I'm just laying these out in their different colours and I'm just counting to see that I've got enough. I want it to all be evenly distributed with the colours. It's quite a nice one. When the head is a bit small, so I'm going to leave that aside. I might not be able to use that one. I quite like these long ones. Let's see if they stick. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm balancing the colours. I'm trying to get a little bit of all the colours in all the different places. It's not always necessary. Sometimes you want to flow from one colour to another. When I've done rainbow bracelets, then obviously I start at a yellow and I go all the way through the rainbow colours. So you don't always want it to mix like this, but for this particular bracelet, I do want it to mix. And I've got some of these. I don't know if I want that pearly bead, I don't think so. The small beads, you can put 2 on. Quite a few of these head pins have no heads. And then these beads, they're almost seed beads. They probably are seed beads, but they're a bit large. These ones I put 3. Sometimes I will join 3 sets of 3 to make one dangly thing to hang off the bracelet. Maybe I'll do 2 there. But you can also just use 1. But it's a good way to use up those little beads that don't really shine on their own in quite a chunky bracelet. Let's put another batch there. looks good. Need a few more because I definitely don't have 30 yet. These ones are very little, but I'm going to leave them just on their own. They're a little red and they look almost like crystals. Quite pretty and shiny. Didn't know about these greenish ones. They might go. They might stop it from looking too organized. I think this one, the hole is just going to be too big. So those ones didn't really work out. And let's see if that one does. That one fits. So I can go there. It's looking quite nice. Let's put a few more here and there. And then we can count and see how far we are. How far we off. I wonder if I didn't use 2 of those to give a bit more bulk. Maybe too much bulk. It's also nice to mix the shapes up. So here I've got a square bead. Often in sets of beads you'll get a couple of really random shapes and they don't coordinate with anything else. And what I found is you can use them, but you need to use more than one in your bracelet. So you see I've got a square, I've got some, I don't know, some triangular diamondy shape, I've got some long bits. So as long as you've got a few spread out through the bracelet, it looks like it was planned. If you only had one square bead and all round beads, it would look like you made a mistake or like you ran out. And you don't want that. Let's see. It's looking alright. It feels a bit small, that one. Maybe we add 2. See if they match. The colours are not the same, no. Okay, I'm liking the way that's looking. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So we need 2 more and then we will be ready to go. So Alright, so now I'm going to just go and cut one at a time, make my little loops. I'm going to put them back in the same place where they were, because then it'll be easier for me just now when I need to remember where to put them. So this one and this one are going to be joined together. Oops. That's why you aim it down. I'm actually going to join these 2 together now. So always with these circles, north to south, not east to west. And I can't remember which is my cutting pair. We'll soon see. So my pliers went blunt, the cutting part, because a few years ago I was teaching classes and we were using memory wire, which is very hard, and we were all just cutting with whichever pliers we had, and then some of them got blunt, which was a bit frustrating. So if you're ever doing memory wire, just have special pliers just for your memory wire. Bit like fabric scissors. Gotta keep them safe. Look at that. Okay, so that one, the thing came right out, so we can't use that bead. So let's find another bead to fill its space, and I quite like that one. That one, the hole was too big. Got a bit too much of that color. Let's see if I've got another one in here. Means I'll have 4 of these yellow ones, but still, I did just want something to lighten it up. Shooting my wires again. You can see I'm running out of space a bit, so I'm just tucking them in where I can. Wire looks a bit discolored, so I'm going to use a different one. You do get some of these that discolor, and it's just part of the batch of wires. I think some of them won't be 100%, just like the beads. You're going to get some that just aren't going to work. So there's these little ones again. Oh, got that shot across the room. One of those. And as I said before, these are north to south. So when I was going through my charms, I was hoping to find a few more leaves, even some apples, but I don't have any, so that was interesting because I remembered having more of certain things than I do now. So there's only 3 charms on this particular bracelet. Normally I would put about 5, 6, 7. There's other bracelets that I make that are more themed, and then I base them on scripture, and then some of them have, yeah, like 12 charms. So this one's quite small in the amount of charms it has, but hopefully the beads will make up for it, and the charms will just be little silvery sparkles. Oh, and one of these. I don't think I'm going to put this one on the end, even though it's on the end now, because I don't think I want that hanging off the end of the bracelets. I think I'll move these to different spots. Let's put one of these on there. Okay, so when the bracelet hangs, you don't really want this hanging off the end. It's just going to be too long. So I would put maybe that on the end and put that around about there. So let's start attaching our charms. So I've got this. It's going to be a bit harder for you to see because it's at the wrong angle for the camera, but I just want to get started using it. So I'm just attaching my last bead to the last loop. Okay. And then I've got this here. I hope you can see it. You can see the sun's coming out this morning. Hopefully it's not too distracting. There we go. So we're going to leave those first two. Well, let me put my charms on first. So I put the middle charm in the middle. I'm not going to count the links. Some days I will count the links, especially if there's quite a few and you need to put them a few spaces apart, and you need the bracelet to look even. But because there's only 3, it's not necessary. Oh, it's a bit tight. Let's get that in. There you go. So I've got number 1 in the middle. Then I will put number 2 halfway between the middle and the edge. So I'll put number 2 there, but I want it to be facing the right direction. So put it right there. And one more. Little pumpkin. This has got it's I think I might move that little leaf over. I think I maybe moved it too far to the one side. Let's move it over a few. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I need to move it over too. Let's just get that moved over and start adding the beads. Always north to south. Now I'm going to start attaching my beads north to south. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. I'm going to start at number 2. So I'm going to leave 2 and I'm going to start at number 3. Now you can see that the beads are in the right order because I didn't move them. So the color order looks fine, so I don't even need to concentrate on that. I hope the sun isn't too irritating now. Well, I don't need to do a loop on there because it's already got a loop. Let's find the end. You can do this flat as well. Maybe let's do it flat for today because then you can see it better. I use this. Got it a few years ago, but I think because of the sun, let's do it like this. So let's move all these down so we can see where we are. Okay. So you do end up picking this up and down a lot while you're working on it. What I'm doing now is I'm just attaching one bead to every link. If you want a fuller bracelet, then you add 2. If you want a less full bracelet, then you add less beads. You add like maybe 1 bead to every second loop. It's looking quite pretty so far. Very autumny. So I don't attach one where the charm is. I count the charm as a bead. So we just go on. I skipped that big one for that space there because I didn't want the big one next to the bead. I mean next to the charm. I wanted a smaller bead next to the charm. Make sure I've done that right. Yeah, see there. Looking great. Okay, and we got another, let's skip that as well. Let's not put that and the bigger bead next to each other. Now I can put this one in, and it's already got its little loop on it. See, the sun is rising now, and I'm not positioned correctly for video. Give me this. Yeah, I better put that in now. I don't want it to look too organized, but I seem to be doing them in an order because I had the charm and then a bead and the big one, and now I've got the charm and a bead and the big one, so it actually did end up being more organized than I planned, than I hoped. Oh, I don't need to do that. Let me put that one on and then I'll go back and put the other one on. So I'm putting this, I'm skipping one because I'm going to put that one with two dangly beads in that one in the middle. So the two dangly can go into there. Okay, so there you have a autumn bracelet. I've left two spaces there with nothing attached, and I've left 2 at the beginning with nothing attached. The 2 at the beginning with nothing attached is so that you can actually open and close this, because otherwise if you've got beads here it's very hard to open and close this. If you use different clasps that don't require this, you could put beads right up to the edge. Then I join mine wherever, but the idea with that is that if they had a bigger wrist they could join it in there. But that is what the bracelet would look like on. I think that looks lovely for autumn. Oh, it's in the sun. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Looks like you're part of the scenery at the moment, because everything's turning brown and orange. Right. So there's that. Now I've got to try to take it off one-handed. And there you go. So there's the first one, and I really like that. I think it's very pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold for a second, clean up, and then start the next project. And you can see I've changed things a bit. I might have bumped the camera and it jiggled around a bit, so I'm sorry about that. So this time around I'm using head eye pins. These have got like a little loop at the top. These ones feel like they're not in great condition. They are quite old. Eye pins are great because if your bead has a very big hole, it's not going to get stuck. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make myself a necklace. So same thing as before. You're going to cut it probably a centimeter, that little sticky part, and you're going to make a loop using your eye pins. I can see I've got a hair there. Okay, and the nice thing about this is it does not, you can see there, I haven't done it super tight, so the bead is jiggling around a bit. It doesn't really matter for this project because we're going to make a necklace. So all you're doing with this one is making lots and lots of beads with loops on 2 ends. And there is no chain involved, no clasps. We're going to make one very big loop. I'm going to join it onto this one. So you can see my loop and the factory loop are 2 different shapes. Their loop is great. It looks like it came out of a factory. It's perfect. Mine is a little bit more teardrop shaped. So I'm always going to join a teardrop shaped my loop onto the factory loop, because if you do that then you guarantee that it will hang evenly all the way around. If you hang 2 factory loops together and then 2 of your wonky loops together, you're going to get wonky looking parts. But if you do the wonky bit to the factory bit, then you'll be fine. And if you just keep doing that all the way along, that'll be great. So you've got 2 options with this. You can either join as you go, like in quilting, or you could make all your beads ahead of time and join afterwards. It really doesn't matter. So I've already joined those 2, but I think what I'll do is I'll make a couple to start and then I'll join all in one go after that. It helps you get your colors perfect or perfectly mixed. You can see by the batch of beads that I've thrown in there, there's a real mix of colors. I've added a few more greens into this batch. Same thing, it's going to be an autumn necklace. So it's this time of year where everything's turning orange and brown. I don't have much brown in there, but there's a little bit of green, some yellow. This is a great way to use up your beads if you've only got a few of each kind of bead. Even that project there is a good way to use up if you've got only a few beads that you really love and you want to use up. Sometimes these big ones get stuck because the hole isn't big enough all the way through. I think those are better for projects where you use thread. So here's a really big hole that would normally fall off, and now it's not going to. So here also, I don't worry too much if the beads are different shapes or sizes. Like this is a really small bead compared to some of the others, but it will mix quite nice when I've joined it all in together. Can't get that on. Definitely something that you can do with music on in the background, or an audiobook, even the TV. This bead here, you can see it's got a hole there and it's going to hang. I'm not going to use that now. It's not going to suit this necklace. It will probably suit a charm bracelet very well. If you're making a pendant, it would work for that, but not for this particular project that I'm doing now. This is that bead that I didn't really feel like using there, but I'm going to use it in this project. So I think it'll just disappear in the colors, which will be fine. Because I don't want to use any clasps for this necklace, it's got to be large enough to go over my neck, or over my head, sorry. And I really like it when you can loop them around your head twice and have like 2 strands hanging around your neck. So this is going to require a lot of beads to get to that length. So that's why I'm just going and going and going. A few more oranges and then I will start joining some of these together and we'll see how far we've got. see how we're going there. So those colors are quite great. Alright, so remember what I said. I join my more wonky shaped loops onto the factory loops, so it will hang the same all the way through. So I'm just lifting my loop up, sliding the factory loop side in and pushing my loop down. So always north to south, don't do east to west, because you will mess up the shape of the loopy bits and then it won't lie back properly. I enjoy this part where I've made all the beads and I'm just clipping them all together because it feels like the end is in sight. So if you're starting out with beading and you want a first project, this is an economical one to do because all you're buying is these things and some beads and the pliers. So the beads, you don't have to buy brand new beads. You can go to second-hand shops. You can go and buy costume jewelry. You can spend a bit of time taking it apart. Some of the projects end up being very expensive because you have to buy brand new things every time you start. And actually you don't need to. And honestly, beading has been so popular over the last few years that chances are you can probably look on Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree or whoever sells second-hand items in your area, and there'll be somebody trying to sell off their stash. Or even you might have friends who are trying to give away their stash because they've read The Joy of Cleaning Up and now they're trying to tidy up their homes. Was it The Magic of Tidying Up? I can't remember the name of her book. So you can see, oh, I don't want to put two little ones together. You can see I've actually got quite a nice size chain so far. That looks quite nice for a necklace. Alright, let me add a few more of these on and then I need to make more. It's definitely not enough. Yeah, that looks really nice so far. I'm so chuffed with that. That's just going to add a little pop of autumn colour to my wardrobe. Although I've got like one earthy coloured jersey top that I could wear it with. Maybe some white shorts. I don't really have orange. I don't wear orange. But maybe that's okay. I quite like these long ones. You do need to have strong wrists to twist the wires. do like these little red, they're more, I don't know, they're not red, they're not like a strawberry colour. I like these strawberry coloured gemstones. That one's actually chipped. I'm not going to use that might cut. These are all glass beads. You can use plastic beads if you would like. They would be lighter if you used plastic beads. That's an ugly one. I don't know what happened to that. I'm not using that one. You can use any shape and size, but I don't want to use that one. Oh, that one's going to end. Maybe I pulled it from the wrong pile. Okay, I'm going to join some more on because I feel like it's feels like I've run out of colours now. I've got too many oranges in a row. So I think I just need to make a few more colours before I go too far. See how big that hole is, and it should be fine. It should actually fit. I wonder if I should put something in front of it. Yeah. It will work. Sometimes what you can do with these really big ones is you can put a bead in front and behind it, and then it will also make sure it doesn't move. I wanted some more colours, so let me get more colours together. was also a bit broken, weird. Yeah, some of these are very strange beads, but I've had them a very long time, so I think what's happened is I've used all the good ones out, and at the end you end up with all the bits that nobody wanted. That one's been chipped. I lost that. Where'd it go? Oh, I'll find it just now. Here it is. I think it would have been better to have got shorter of these pins, but this is what I had, so I'm using what I've got. But obviously these ones are quite long. These are 7 centimeters long, so if you're going to be doing something like this, you could buy the shorter ones. The longer they are, the more expensive they are, so you'll save money if you bought the shorter ones. But then just don't go too short when you buy them, because if you're using a bead that is that long, you don't want to have a very short wire that you're struggling to make a loop on the end. You could reuse these, you can make another loop on the end, but this, bear in mind, if you do this, you're not going to have 2 factory size loops. You're going to have 2 of your own loops, which might make your creation a bit wonky. Let's move those to 2. There you go. So you can reuse these. You just have to decide how you're going to reuse them. I'm going to leave that there because I'm not going to use it for now. That wire was very soft. Alright, let's add some more on, and let's make sure we got the right end. When I say the right end, I was looking at those 2, and I was looking for the factory loop and my loop, because I like to open my loop and attach the factory loop onto it. I know it sounds like a funny word, making up my own words. Factory loop. Get a different colour in there, just give it a bit of change. You see what I did there? I was so busy looking at the bead, I got the wrong loop onto the thing. this really big one in. It's looking nice. That factory loop isn't even closed. You've got to make sure that the loops are closed, because if they are not closed, then your beads will fall off, or your whole necklace might fall apart. That's better. That's looking lovely. Sure. Okay, so around my neck I still need more. It gets over my head, but I would like that double. If I'm wearing it, I would like it to be like that. So let's make some more. I'm going to do this like I did for the bracelets. I'm just going to get a whole lot ready, and then I'll do it like an assembly line. There's a purple one. Oh look, that's so big it didn't even get on. Fell right through the loop. Nice one, and that fits, that's good. I think that's a bird that you can hear on the roof of the conservatory. This is where I do my crafts, in the conservatory. Okay, let's get a few more other colours besides orange. And that might be enough. It's quite a weird one. Let's see, maybe it'll work. Yeah, that's a bird on the roof. Okay, let's see how far this gets us. I like to pick up all these things as I go, because at least I sort of know where they are. If you just leave them shooting out all over the room, you might not collect them all, and then someone might stand on it. And that wouldn't be good at all. It's better just to try and find them as they shoot across the room. You can see that one I made it a bit too long, so I'm just going to redo it. Just cut it a bit shorter. Tiny little bit, get that in there. That's nice. Really not sure about this one. Such a funny color. Oh. It does fit. It fits with the autumn colors. Alright, let's see how far this gets us. Hand's a bit sore there. Okay, there's the end. Look at that, I put the wrong end. My end, I thought my end was the good end. There's a way to make your loops look as good as the factory loops. I just haven't got around to practicing enough. And for some of these crafts, I feel like it's more important to do the craft to the best of your ability than to make it perfect like it came from a shop, because it didn't come from a shop. You made it. It's handmade. It needs to look like it's been handmade. And this is supposed to be fun as well. It's not supposed to be stressful and getting it to look perfect. It's supposed to be getting the beads together, making the colors look good, making something for yourself to wear, making a gift. So I do try hard to make things look good, but also I am a bit relaxed when it comes to some of the parts. So this white powdery stuff on my fingers, this is from these beads. I'll show you if there's a big one here. I've used them all. It's from these beads here. I think in the glass making process they do something, and there's always a powder on the inside, and it's like a white dusty powder, but it does come away when you wear it. Okay, so now I think I might be near the end, so I've got to make sure that my last bead isn't going to be the same color as my first bead. I'm hoping I'm near the end now. Do I want that next to, well, let's see. Let's see if it's long enough and then we can decide. Okay, so it would be like that. And, oh, it's getting stuck in my glasses. No, I need a few more. Alright, well that's okay because I didn't know if I wanted that brown and that orange next to each other. Oh, my hair got all weird there. Let's get a few more oranges. Look at that weird bead. I don't want that one. Oops. Oh, that one. Wow. Definitely I'm at the end of these beads. Oh, there's one I dropped. I am avoiding those two little green ones because I don't really think they're going to fit. I've got too many of those. Let's see what else I can put on. That's nice. Look how bright that is. Maybe two of those. I think that should be enough. You got to be careful with this that you don't stab yourself, especially on the sharp edges. Alright, so here we go. Now this one again, it's not closed completely. My ends that I'm opening, I can close them tighter if I haven't sealed them properly. you can close them tighter when because you've opened them, but the factory ones you don't really want to open those if you don't have to. I think this is going to be enough. I'm going to just measure it over my head first, then I will measure it and tell you how long I've made it. So let's just do it before I seal it. Take off my glasses, I think. 1 and 2. Yep, that fits perfectly. So let me go and get a tape measure and I'll tell you how long it is. Oh, sorry, check the table. So this is 1.30 m or 51 inches, and that's knotted together. And that's that necklace. And just open the last one and join them together in a circle. There you go. There is, and I'll try and loop it like that. So when I wear these, I try and loop it so one is like longer than the other, like that. So if you wear it, and one is hanging a bit longer than the other one, does that make sense? A big circle. There you go. So there's two really pretty pieces of jewelry, autumn themed. It didn't take that long to make. And some odds and ends left. You could probably get another bracelet out of what's left there. Some of those I can use for something else. And then behind, where you can't see the camera, I've got more orange beads. So definitely this isn't the only orange bead project that can be done. Yeah, there you go. Happy autumn day, everybody. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.